So important for me, but also our commissioners, and I'm sure important for you, is about a livable city. How are we going to cope with 6 million people? How are we going to do that so that we maintain that lovely livability that we have now, that of what we enjoy about Sydney? And I think what the important part that we've certainly heard from people as we've been consulting over the last, since we were formed in January, and we continue to listen to what people say, is that it's really about putting people at the centre of planning. A bit like you're talking about with Bridge Housing. It's not just about the houses, it's about the people. And that's really important. And those decisions we make about planning of where jobs are going to go, where housing is going to go, where services are, where trains go, all of that stuff, you've got to really look at that in terms of what it means for people, because it impacts on people. And we know that, and we want to ensure that it has positive benefits for people. We're very aware of the spatial disadvantage across Sydney. And we are concerned about that and how through good planning, we can try to assist in overcoming that spatial segregation and disadvantage across Sydney. And those areas of social disadvantage have certainly been identified, and we'll be working very hard to make sure that those areas get their share of infrastructure. That's very important to us. The second is about housing choice and diversity. And certainly what we're talking there is we've got 725,000 new dwellings to deliver, but within that supply, we are, for the first time, recognising that we need to have diversity in that supply, and diversity of affordabilities, types, tenures, which is very important. You may have heard we have announced some affordable rental housing targets for Greater Sydney that will apply a 5 to 10% affordable rental housing target across the whole of Sydney for all urban renewal and greenfield developments where there is uplift, a change in the zoning for that housing to be delivered. We think 5 to 10% is very doable. We've done the feasibilities, we know it will work, and you must remember that this is a target for across the whole of Sydney. So for once, we're going to have something that applies across everybody. In the past, there's only been small areas, or council areas, where it has applied. We're going to be working very closely with councils, community housing providers and the industry to deliver that policy over this next year. So thank you. Great AGM. Very good. And congratulations, Bridge Housing, on a terrific year. It looks like lots have been achieved. And I'm so delighted for you and so pleased to see that focus on not just houses but on people, because that's really what a great community is all about, isn't it? And that's, as a social commissioner at the Greater Sydney Commission, and I must say it's not just me but all my fellow commissioners, we really are focused on planning for people as Sydney grows into the future.